So it's been a little while since we've done a Mustang news video, and that's mostly because there hasn't been much Mustang news lately. We recently had the Mach 1, we talked about ADMs on GT500s and the Mach E Performance Edition and stuff like that, but there really hasn't been a lot of exciting Mustang stuff to talk about. Well, over the weekend, that pretty much changed. Two things really happened that really have the Mustang community talking. One of them was the Mecum Auction down in Kissimmee, Florida, and the other one were some spy photos of the S650. Now we'll get to the S650 in a minute, but let's talk about the Mecum Auction. Now, auctions always get people talking. The Mecum Auction in Kissimmee, Florida is kind of the first big one of 2022, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the year. Now, it gets people talking because of some of the prices some of the cars bring. Now, there obviously are some deals you can get in the earlier days, but the high dollar cars usually go in the busier days, and they kind of sort of set the tone for the market. Now, I'm not saying what these cars go for is what your car's worth. You know, these are going to be kind of the higher end cars that are out there, but it really shows what some of these cars can bring. I mean, there's some crazy money paid for some vintage cars, and even some crazier money for some Fox bodies. So when you buy a car from Mecum, you're going to pay a 10% buyer's fee. So these prices we're going to talk about are going to include that buyer's premium. Now, obviously, the #1 Mustang sold and the most valuable Mustang ever sold was the GT350R. Now, this sold for over $4 million with buyer's fees. Now, this was the first R ever built. It was used for development. It was driven by Ken Miles, Bob Bondurant, Chuck Cantwell, Peter Brock, Jerry Titus. I mean, a laundry list of the most famous names in racing from back in the day all drove this car. Now, known as the Flying Mustang, it was the first Shelby Mustang to win a race, and it won a ton of races afterwards, making it probably one of the most important race Mustangs of all time. Now, it's no surprise that Boss 429s always bring a good amount of money, and this beautiful red Boss sold for over $440,000. Now, this was one of 857 made, so the 429 engine would be legal for NASCAR. Now, this is one of the earlier ones, the initial 279, that were built with a very desirable 820S engine, which has magnesium valve covers, hydraulic cam, and NASCAR-style connecting rods. Now, interestingly, this car, it actually was not the original engine to that car, which usually kills the value. But it came from its sister car, and it is error correct and also part of the 820S engine family, making it a beautiful ride for someone's garage. Another one that kind of surprised me was this 67 GT500. This sold for $374,000. Now, this is a beautiful, meticulous restoration in a gorgeous dark blue color. The thing with this car is it pretty much is the nicest 67 GT500 around. It has won every award that Shelby American Automobile Club offers, making it one of the top Mustang show cars in the country. Now, I've always been a fan of the 96 to 98 Cobras, and seeing one sell for $25,000 was pretty impressive. Now, again, you've seen some 96 Mystics sell for that price point, but usually not a regular Cobra. Now, again, finished in the beautiful laser red with only 11,000 miles, it is a beautiful example and might be showing that the SN95 Mustangs are starting to go up in value. Another one that really surprised me was this 77 Mustang Cobra II. Now, the Mustang IIs, they're definitely almost like a cult following. There are a lot of people who love these cars, but they're usually not quite as desirable as a lot of others. Still, this car brought $33,000, which is excellent money for a Cobra II. Now, again, it's a 33,000 mile car, almost all original, very well documented, a few small cosmetic mods, but a beautiful example of a Mustang II. Now, the cars that probably have created the most buzz online are going to be the Fox bodies. We're going to start off with this '89 GT Convertible. Now, as we discussed before, convertible Fox bodies are sometimes the least desirable cars. Yet this '89 GT Convertible, basically stock with LX wheels, 61,000 miles, is a very average car, still sold for $16,500, which is really strong money for a GT Convertible, especially one with some miles on it. Now, here we have an '85 GT Convertible. Again, beautiful car. Now, this one is a low mileage car with only 5,600 miles on it, room with white interior. It's an automatic. Again, all stock, all original. Beautiful Survivor car that sold for $26,400. Now, the money's not just in the original cars. This beautiful '87 Coyote swapped coupe, very, very clean car with well-chosen modifications, including obviously the Coyote swap, C56 Willwood brakes, and it brought $38,500. Now, this is one that had the Mustang coupe people really going nuts. This is a '92 LX in the very desirable Bimini blue color, which is just a beautiful bright blue paint. Now, this again, 38,000 mile car, beautiful car, all stock, sold for an amazing $44,000, which might be the highest price paid for a stock coupe. Again, it is a beautiful car. Now we talk about Fox body sales, obviously we're gonna talk about 93 Cobras, and again, the bar was really set high at Mecum. There were two 93 Cobras that went across the auction block, a black with gray cloth car with 860 miles, and a red with black cloth car with 1,205 miles. They both sold for $110,000 each, which is the first time I've seen at an auction that a regular 93 Cobra has gone over $100,000. Now ours regularly sell on that price, and there have been some rumors of some wrap or teal cars selling for over 100, but this is the first time I've seen two regular Cobras bring over $100,000 a piece. And then the last Fox body that really got people talking was this beautiful 88 LX Coupe. Now this is a full custom car, rotisserie restoration, beautiful reef blue paint, Gen 2 Coyote, supercharged, turbo 400, big brakes. I mean, you name it, this car had it done to it. Full TMI interior. Now, this is a nice example of a highly modified car, and the price came along with it. $71,500 for a modified 88 LX Coupe, making everybody with a modified coupe wondering what their car would bring at the next Mecum auction. Now let's talk about the 7th generation Mustang, the S650. Now on Friday, there were some spy photos that were released of this car, and every YouTuber was basically scrambling to get a video up as fast as possible to talk about the S650, because it's the first time we basically have seen that car in person. Now again, the S650 is designed to come out probably sometime in 2023 as a 2024 model, so we still have some time to wait, but Ford had one out on their proving grounds and some people got some photos of it. Now, based off the photos and what you're looking at, it's really tough to tell what this car is going to look like. I mean, you can see the headlights look a lot smaller and narrower than previous models. The taillights honestly look like Altez's. I doubt they're a production taillight. They're probably something they're just using on this car for testing purposes. But obviously you see the Mustang styling, the long hood. It looks like the windshield has a much steeper slope to it than previous years, so it does look a lot different. Now again, it's really hard though with those spy photos and the camouflage to really see what that car is going to look like. Now Ford's actually known for sticking additional body panels underneath the camouflage to make it even harder to determine what the car is going to look like. Now over on Mustang 7G, which is the S650 sister site of Mustang 6G, one of the best S550 sites around, this guy Ace made a beautiful rendition of what he thinks the Mustang is going to look like. He took the spy photos, did his magic, and came up with his rendering shown here, which again, very much could be what the new S650 Mustang looks like. Now, it's a perfect time for Ford to launch the S650 because for the first time ever, Ford actually got outsold by the Challenger. Believe it or not, the Mustang has been the #1 basically pony car for years, but the Challenger outsold the Mustang in 2021. Now again, the Mustang is getting old at this point. I mean, it's 8 model years of the S550, not much has changed. I'm not saying the Challenger's changed either, but again, I think people are getting tired of the Mustang, so it's the perfect time for the S650. Now again, the Challenger barely outsold the Mustang, and both the Mustang and Challenger sold double what the Camaro sold, so they're still doing well. But again, with sales going down, it is definitely time for a new Mustang, and we're excited to see what the S650 really looks like. Now, to be fair, Mustang, Challenger, and Camaro all face a lot of the issues in the industry with chip shortages and difficulty getting new cars, so that does affect their sales prices. But like I said, Mustang fans are ready for something new. I mean, the Performance Pack 2 cars are gone. The GT350 is gone. GT500s, awesome car, people love them, but they're expensive, and that's even if you can find one at retail. So definitely excited about something new. Now, as far as auctions, this weekend is going to be Barrett-Jackson, which is again a huge auction just like Mecum. I'm sure we'll see some high-end Mustangs go through there. I can't wait to see what kind of prices they bring.